Graphing nonlinear inequalities. In this video, we're going to graph nonlinear inequalities. Before we begin, let's go over some important information you need to know about graphing nonlinear inequalities. Now, you're going to go ahead and sketch your graph as usual. However, in terms of the type of sketch it's going to be, it depends on the inequality symbol. If you have the inequality symbol of less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, then you will sketch or draw a solid graph. Now, if you have the inequality symbols less than or greater than with no line underneath it, in other words, it does not have that or equal to component to it, then you will sketch or draw a dash graph. Now, we're going to use the test point boundary method of using the test point 0, 0. So when using that method, if you get a true statement when plugging in that test point, then you will obviously shade that region. And if you get a false statement when plugging in that test point, then you will not shade the region where the test point is located. So let's go ahead and do an example. So here what we have is a graph of can you determine what type of graph that's going to be? Well, if you set a circle, that is correct, because notice here you have it in the equation of a circle form where you have your x squared plus y squared equals your radius here of 9. Whenever there's a positive number to the right there, is definitely a circle. Can you tell me the center of that circle? Well, recall that for your x value, it's always going to be opposite what you see. So even though you see -4, your x value is actually +4. Notice that you don't see a number there with y, so that means that you have a y value of 0. So my center is located at 4, 0. And what is your radius? Yes, to find the radius, all you have to do is take the square root of this number. Square root of 9 is 3, so my radius is 3, which means I'm going to first plot my center located at 4, 0, and then I'm going to extend 3 units out in each direction. And what type of sketch are we going to draw for our circle? Is that dash or solid? Well, looking at the inequality symbol here, notice when you don't see that or equal to component added to it, then that means that you're going to be sketching a dashed line. Again, greater than or less than will be a dashed line. So let's go ahead and sketch our circle. The next step is we're going to determine whether we're going to be shading outside the circle or the other region, which is inside the circle. So we're going to use the test point 0, 0, the boundary method there. So our test point is located right here at the point of origin, which happens to be outside the circle. So that means if I get a true statement, I'm going to be shading all the outer region. However, if I plug in this test point and I get a false, then I will shade inside the circle, the opposite region. So let's go ahead and determine whether we're going to be shading inside or outside. We're going to remove the variable x and y and replace them both with 0 and do the math. So on the left side, I have -4 squared. -4 squared is 16. So I have 16 on the left side and 9 on the right side. Let's go ahead and read that statement. This statement says that 16 is greater than 9. That is a true statement because 16 is greater than 9. Here is our test point, and since we got a true when plugging in our test point and it's outside the circle, that means we will shade outside the region. And there you have it, graphing nonlinear inequalities.